They truly do grow up so fast, and Cupra has finally departed from Seat. It's a standalone brand. This is a standalone model, the Cupra Formentor, that you can't get with a Seat badge up front. There's a few different versions of it, and they will be all on the channel, including the 2-litre 300 brake horsepower version of the car, but this is a bit tamer under there anyway. But on the outside, it looks pretty spectacular. The daytime running lights have little bits of the Cupra logo here across the front. This copper grille that you just can't miss. You've got splitters and diffusers everywhere in different colours and bits of grey and massively bright headlights and creases over the bonnet. You just take a second look at it. Around the side of the car, it's kind of got a crossover / hatchback stance. Roof rails, this one has upgraded 19-inch alloy wheels, but they are 18 as standard. I'm not sure about these alloy wheels, they're kind of unusual looking, but there are nicer ones that you can get in the range. And the back of the car is just absolutely gorgeous. We're talking about a super sexy rear with that brake light the whole way across. This has an electronic tailgate, which does work, because I've tried it, see? Finally these things work on camera. A droppable boot floor, little flaps to knock down the rear seats, dividers that you can remove if you want to fit a child's bike in with either wheel at either end. It's a real family car where they've borrowed some kind of Skoda cleverness into the boot, and the fact that you can drop gives you a bit more space, and it's kind of your average hatchback style boot, if that makes sense. There's nothing to fear in the back of the car if you do have a family either, because it's got class leading legroom, as good as the Seat Leon and better than the Golf actually. There's room for 2 child seats, climate control and 2 USB-C options. Sadly, the rear windows go down this far, and it drives kids mad. You're trying to tell them, no, it's not me, that's all it does. The room in the back is generous and class leading for any size of hatchback and crossover, and there's good visibility all around. You'll feel nicely cocooned, but also there's plenty of space as well. This is where the car steps up a gear from the Golf as far as I'm concerned. It is the same screen effectively, and there's touches for volume and double tapping for heated seats. And yes, it's a bit frustrating to use. I'll explain a bit more when we're driving in a second. The steering wheel, as always in Cupra, is gorgeous. And I think overall the interior, they've just done enough tweaks to make it feel like it is something different, albeit based on the same chassis and platform as a Golf and a Leon and some Skodas for that matter. You get physical buttons for things though, and same with down here. That little nib of a gear shifter is back, and the fact that the Cupra logo is embossed on the headrest, they're just little attention to details that justify in some ways perhaps the cost, because it's not the cheapest car. You can tweak your instruments as you can in any Volkswagen Group car, and the fact that they've integrated the blind spot in here, it's just clever use and kind of futuristic looking, and again you do still feel cocooned, and if you've got ambient background lighting you can mess with that to many different colours, and it really provides a cozy environment at night time. But I just think there's enough colour going on here to break it up, to make it a bit of an interesting proposition when you jump behind the wheel or you're a passenger in the front of the Formentor. No point me overdoing it. I would like a little bit of extra power, and that will come in a few weeks when we're testing the 300 plus brake horsepower version of the car. But for a lot of people, this 1.5 150 brake horsepower tried and tested petrol engine is more than enough. And something that I really want to talk about is the dynamic chassis control, DCC for short. You can set it in a few different settings, from normal in your drive profile. You can configure it up, and you do have to do it while you're on the move, which can sometimes be a little bit tricky. So you got comfort, normal and sport obviously being the hardest setting, which I have it in now. And it means the car is a total split personality. For the extra cost of it, I really think it's properly worth it, because it gives the car so many different dynamics then, if you want to take it easy, if you just want something that isn't kind of bobbing you along as you drive, and then in full sport mode, it will do that, and you will be getting bobbed along, and you know the handling of the car goes with it. So it's kind of the best of, I wouldn't say even just both worlds, it's the best of several worlds, because you know, you can really tweak it in between. The entertainment screen in general, I've said before in previous say it's that, it's not a say, it's a Cupra. I've said before that it's a bit of a clunky system to use, even more so when you're driving and on the move. You'll be fiddling around trying to mess with that, so that can be a bit of a distraction, there's no doubt about it. I'm seeing about 8 litres per 100 kilometres. You will of course get better fuel economy on a motorway. That's a lot of built-up area driving that I'm doing, and it's a sharp handling car, even with the 150 brake horsepower. When you're winding up a bit and you're on the move, it's decent, you know, it's all right. Of course, I'd like a bit more power from something a bit spicier, but it kind of makes you just drive it harder. And I'm liking the fact that I'm getting to test this version before the higher powered Formentor, because it would kind of make you just pine for the power if I was going the other way around. So if I think this car is this good with the 150 brake, what's going to be like with double the power? I'm eager to find out anyway. It gets a serious amount of looks on the road, and this does have the upgraded alloys and the paint, and that probably adds to it. But you are paying for a sort of exclusivity factor a little bit in the car as well, I think. The best way I can sum up this car is, everyone says the Leon is a little bit better than the Golf. Well, I think this is a little bit better than the Leon. So make of that what you will. But it's a car that I'm not sure if it really is a crossover. So if it's that kind of aspect of a car you're looking for, I'm not sure it is. But if you're looking for a bloody good hatchback that is kind of a crossover, then you're on to a little cracker. And when you find the need to take it onto a little dicky dirt road and open it up a bit, I think the Formentor from Cupra is actually a bit of a hidden gem. Formentor, by the way, is a peninsula in Mallorca, which is the reason for the name. It's a cracking looking car with a fairly hefty price tag at €40,000 thereabouts. This car is €47,000 with all the optional extras, the wheels, the dynamic chassis control, of which of all the extras you can get, I think that is the one to grab. It's a gorgeous, unique looking car. The price means it's not going to be for everybody. And if you're after a kind of a sporty crossover, SUV, hatchback, I'm really not sure which of the three it is. And it's going to be ultra rare on Irish roads, so you're also getting that little bit of exclusivity in the car as well. I think I'll have to shortlist it, because I can't say go out and buy it over something like a Golf. It will essentially do the same thing, but it's not going to have this level of coolness about it. Cupra, welcome to the stable.